Hello everybody, welcome back to Circuit Horde. We are playing Lunacid. This is episode, what, 6?
6, yep.
I think.
Episode
Last
6.
episode we were talking about reading and also like working in IT. And I did want to kind of continue. I want to clarify, I don't necessarily hate reading. Like I said in the last episode, it's just that...
You lied?
Yeah, I did lie. I don't know, I just have bad experiences with reading, because whenever I read, I was always punished when I read, because I could never read fast enough. And I don't know exactly why I read as slowly as I do.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going back to our last save point because there was a fucking elevator trap that killed me. Where was the last save? Hello? Oh, this is a little ways back. Son of a bitch.
But, yeah, like, I just always remember especially my 5th grade teachers, getting, like, frustrated with me and stuff, and kind of pulling me to the side, like, because I could never finish, these couple hundred page books in a week, because I was just so slow at reading. And yeah, and like,
just bad experiences overall.
Just bad experiences with reading. So when I got to my senior year, okay, let me rephrase this. My 7th grade year is when I started reading A Series of Unfortunate Events, and I really I mentioned that in the last episode. I became obsessed with those books, and I loved them. And those, I could easily read those books in a couple of days. But I would also spend those entire days reading them. Now, when I think it was my senior year of high school.
That's when
yeah. Well, also 8th grade, because there were a couple of books in 8th grade, like The Giver, that I really liked. Mm-hmm. But we would read those books, like Animal Farm and The Giver. Those were 2 books I remember from 8th grade.
Animal Farm. That sounds like it's about nice farm animals. Huh?
Yeah. I kind of became obsessed with those books, but we would read those books as a class, and I remember being like, oh man, I can't wait for us to read this, because I can't wait to see what happens, and that's all I would think about. It was Animal Farm, The Giver, and another book, and I can't remember what the other book was called, but I can remember what it was about. It was about, basically a short summary, is that this guy invented the light bulb, and he was, because he invented the light bulb, he was outcasted from society. which is a really bad summary of it, but it's like, explain the book in like
5 seconds,
a couple of words. And it was like very hard for me to not read ahead in those books, because like I said, it was all I could think about.
Ahead. Fuck this shit. I want to know what happens next.
But then, like, when I got to my junior year and we had to read the Grapes of Wrath and stuff like that, I was like, this sucks. I can't absorb any of the words that are coming out of this book. And when I got to my senior year, I read The Man in the High Castle, which is an alternate World War II history novel. Go ahead and read that if you want.
Spear in hand, I am to die, not from defeat, I lie to myself, but from a longing for an end to this eternal war.
I read The Man in the High Castle, and it's an alternate World War II history where the Nazis and Nazi Germany and Japan win World War II, and Japan and Nazi Germany kind of have a Cold War. And it also it's also heavily influenced by I can't remember what the book. It's not. I don't even know if you would call it a book. I'm just gonna call it a book.
Novel?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically. It's basically it's either a Chinese or Japanese fortune telling book.
Folktale?
No, it's not a folktale.
I was trying to think of like other terms that you might not be considering.
It's a book that doesn't contain a story. It starts with a D, I think, and like what you do is that you would turn to a certain page or whatever of the book, and you would read.
Choose Your Own Adventure?
No, not Choose Your Own Adventure. There's no story.
Oh, no story.
There's no story to the book.
Okay.
But the author of The Man in the High Castle used that book to influence what would happen in his own book. So what you do is that you would basically go to that book for advice, and you would turn to like whatever page of the book, and you would see the advice that the book would give you.
I apologize. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I apologize though when you said that you go to a random page in the book. I thought you were talking about like those books where it says to go to a specific page.
Yeah.
Or like for this decision. You probably know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but
okay, sorry.
But let me look it up. I'm looking on a computer. I'm watching on a computer. I can just look it up.
Yeah.
The Man in the High Castle. There's also an Amazon Prime video series on it.
Nice.
But I'm talking about the book.
Okay.
Book summary. Let me look up the summaries because
I encountered this guy Lobos. You survived? How funny. Years wasted pushing the cart just for the family back home, and then I quit. I had enough of it and went home. They were already dead. Had been for years. I probably dropped off their corpses myself without even realizing it. You know, I didn't know why I held on down here, what I was waiting to die for, but I guess it was this, one last laugh with an old friend. Promise me one thing. Don't stop. Don't ever stop, not until that old beast is awoke. Bring an end to this rotten world. So this is the guy that cut off our hand and threw us in the well. He's dead now. He wanted to hang out with me real quick and then die. Okay.
I'm still trying to find what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Dang, what is it? Let me, book analysis. One thing that's kind of interesting, I did watch the Amazon Prime show, and the book and the series is pretty different, but they're both good. Man, why can't I find this? I would have thought the Wikipedia article would. I Ching, that's what it was. I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced. Yi Jing. That's what it is. Yi Jing. It's a Chinese book. And but it's not a book, like I said earlier, it's not a book in the same sense that a book tells a story. It's literally you go to the you ask the book advice and you flip to a certain page of the book and then it will give you your advice on whatever problem you need advice with. And that's how he used
That's fucking cool.
that's what he used to write the book, is like whenever a character needed to make a decision, he would use the Yi Jing.
Yo, that's a really cool fucking idea.
It is cool, except it got really out of control, and by the end of the book, the story kind of falls apart and doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Because he was using the book for decisions.
Basically using I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if fortune telling's the right term for it, but anyway, I read Man in the High Castle. We read a few other books that I can't remember any of the names of the books, but I do remember enjoying most of them. So I don't necessarily hate reading, it's just that I have bad experiences in the past with basically not reading as fast as the teachers would have liked me to read, and not being able to like go on field trips and stuff because I couldn't read fast enough.
Because you're a bad boy.
Yeah. And the main reason I couldn't read fast enough is because my mind gets fixated on one single thing, and when it gets fixated, I become obsessed with that thing. Like I can't take my mind off of it. But also because I was in 5th grade and, when I got home from school, the last thing I wanted to do was read because I spent all day at school reading already.
Real quick. I miss the wind and the rain, painful as it was. I miss the sky and the people, hurtful as they were. I will leave the only way I can, leaving this body behind. That's important here. While I'm teleporting.
But yeah, there are a couple of books that I've been meaning to read that I just haven't gotten around to because I haven't read in a long time. I haven't read a single book in a long time. I tried reading the Bible, and I tried reading the King James version of the New Testament. That thing is totally undecipherable. I don't understand a single word it says because it's just so... It's so separated, detached from modern English. I stopped reading the King James version of the Bible because I'm like, I don't understand a single freaking word this book is saying. I started reading one of those like little Bibles that there's an organization. You want to read that?
So the body that I just found in the prison that was saying that they'll leave the only way they know how, that was Etna's body. Oh, you found me in the prison. Well, it's not really me anymore. I left that body to reach the surface, but when I came back, well, I guess I'd been away for too long. I wandered around for a long time, not really doing much of anything. I felt so lost. I didn't have any reason to stay, to keep living as I am. But I eventually decided that I didn't need a real reason to live. I could live to help others, or I could live just because, why not? This cruel world tried taking me so I can keep living just despite it. And the people up there, they are beyond my help. I can actually make a difference down here. Even if I am just giving Clive endless health potions. So, want to try some alchemy? So you got one of those little baby, those little tiny Bibles, you said?
Bibles. Yeah, there's a certain organization that hands them out for free for like hospitals and whatever. I can't remember what they're called, but what the organization is called. But I got one of those and I'm like, this is the wrong kind of Bible that they need to be handing out because this is so hard to understand. The King James version of the New Testament. It was just, I got like, I think I read like the first, I don't know. I can't even remember how far I got into it, but I didn't go far because it was just so hard to understand.
During the reign of the Golden Lance, most magic was exiled. But there was a thought that if magic is wicked, then there must be another power which is holy. No one knows his name before he was Uxviharad the Golden, only that he was a holy man from Carcosa, who was devoted to finding this unknown power. Like many in his time, he became obsessed with gold and pale yellow, for if the silver moonlight be the source of magic, the golden sun could be the source he sought. Some priests would even construct long, thin copper pipes reaching into the sky beyond the poison fog to try to drink the golden essence of the sun. Is it unknown? I'm pretty sure it means it's supposed to be. It is unknown just how Uxviharad found his power, or if he used those methods. But at some point he died finding that power. He then became a holy relic of the church, and parades would be held with his corpse in tow. Saints would even be allowed to drink his holy blood. However, his power was not limitless, and eventually his corpse became brittle and dry. He was brought into the Great Well and placed into a chapel for his protection. At least, I think that's how it happened. My memory ain't that good.
There was a little bit of a Mario, it that really you moment from Super Mario 64.
It that really you?
I was gonna say something also about books.
Was it about the Bible, or
No,
specifically
no,
books in general?
I can't remember. Let's see. I would like to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or Universe, or whatever. And I have a copy of it that's like all of the books combined into one, and I've been meaning to read that for a long time. But yeah, going back on IT.
Yeah, go back to IT. We got very distracted. We went on a couple tangents.
Yeah, I have I will never, I don't think I will ever buy another Apple product ever in my life again, just from bad experiences working with it in IT
Fair, fair.
and bad experiences with helping family members out with their Apple products, where I don't know if you've noticed this, but whatever kind of batteries that Apple puts into their iPads and iPhones and stuff, and even MacBooks, have a really short lifespan. And
Yeah.
whenever they do die, it's impossible to replace
Spectacular.
them. It's impossible to
They
replace
explode.
them. You have to throw away the entire device if your battery goes bad, which is ridiculous. Like my mom has an iPad, and it got to the point where her iPad wouldn't charge anymore, which has happened to every single Apple device that I or another family member has ever owned. It happened to my iPad Touch that I got in 2009. It happened to my dad's iPhone recently. It happened to my mom's iPad. It happened to my own MacBook. It Apple has a serious battery issue, and
I can't
now
remember.
the
Do their batteries do like the bloat thing very frequently? I know some electronics tend to have like where the batteries start to like bloat and like they're gonna explode kind of thing.
well, that's what my MacBook did.
Nice.
Now, the MacBook I had was old. It was from like 2007. And that MacBook, you could replace the batteries. You could physically take out the battery. You didn't even need a screwdriver. You just needed like a quarter, turn a little thing, and then take the battery out. But with how Apple designs their products now, you can't replace the battery without breaking the device. Like so what happened with my mom's iPad, it was still in warranty. We tried to get Apple to fix it. We were like, we'll send it to you. We took it to multiple Apple stores, and they were like,
I don't know.
yeah, we can't really do anything to fix it. And it's like, it's still in warranty. Can you just replace it? And they're like, we don't really want
don't
to.
feel like it.
We figured out what they wanted us to do was just to buy a new one
Yeah.
instead of fixing it or replacing it, even though it was still under warranty. But it's ridiculous that you have to replace or fix the iPad just to replace the battery, when every single other device on God's green earth, in order to replace a battery, you just open up a door and take the battery out. Like with Game Boys, with game controllers, with old Android phones, because newer Android phones like Samsung's, they have the same problem. You can't take the battery out anymore without breaking the phone. So what we ended up doing is, when Apple refused to help us, despite it being under warranty, we took it to a third-party person to see if they could replace the battery. And they did some research, and they were like, the only way that I'm going to be able to replace the battery is by taking the screen off. And
Jesus.
there's a 50% chance that the screen is also going to break
It's
if
also
I
gonna
try to
get
take
fucked.
the...
Damn.
Yeah, so not only are we going to have to buy a new battery, but we're probably going to have to buy a new screen as well.
Because they're bad at their job and,
And-
are bad at replacing their own devices.
Well, no, this was a third party.
Oh, third party. KK. Gotcha.
Yeah. And the reason why that is because Apple, what they want to do is that they want to, they make their devices in such a closed environment where the only people that are able to service any of their products are themselves, is Apple themselves, which was one other reason why when I worked at the school district and we had iPads, we were like, we can't keep getting Apple products because if they break, we can't fix them on site. We're going to have to send them off somewhere to get fixed. That was one of the main reasons. One, because the school district couldn't afford Apple products because each Apple product is costs about the same as a ER visit without insurance. Emergency room visit without insurance. And two, because if anything in the iPad breaks, we can't fix it on site. It has to be sent off somewhere. Which is not how what's the point of having an IT department if we can't fix things?
Yeah, if we can't fix our own electronics, what's the fucking point?
So Apple is like, this is one thing I can't stand about Apple. Two things I can't stand them at all, but two things that I really despise about them.
Their logo is a fucking fruit.
Two things that are like so hypocritical about them is that one, they put designed in California on every single one of their boxes, which is totally misleading. Yes, it might have been designed in California, but it was manufactured in China. So they try to like, they try to say, oh, this was made in the USA. Yeah, they try to mislead by saying, oh, this was made in the USA. We designed it in California. When it wasn't made in the USA, it was manufactured in China. Two, the other issue I have is that it's been like a couple years since I went on their website or whatever, but I remember them like boasting about how they're trying to be climate conscious. Like they're trying to reduce their carbon footprint as a company, and it's like,
doubt.
If you wanted to reduce your carbon footprint,
make it easier to replace the parts of your fucking products.
Exactly. You would make it so that your devices would be repairable. Because Apple, and it's not just Apple, it's Samsung that does it as well. They generate so much waste, electronic waste, by not making their devices repairable. When one thing breaks in an iPad, whether it's the screen, whether it's the battery, whether it's the like touch screen, whether it's the speaker, whatever, the whole device has to be thrown away.
Right.
Which is
dumb.
It's disgusting.
It's a lot of waste.
It's bad for the environment. So they can't say that they're being climate conscious and trying to reduce their carbon footprint. Two, it's terrible for the consumer because even in our experience, in my mom's experience, even if you have a warranty, Apple will they will bring every single excuse in the book to try to get out of repairing or replacing your iPad. It's insane. So, my dad's iPhone recently, his battery stopped working. It wouldn't charge. So guess what he did? He just bought a new iPhone.
Oh, God.
It's just, it makes me so mad.
How wasteful it is.
Yeah, how wasteful it is. And how much of a, like, scummy business Apple runs And for those were two reasons why we were like, we told this, because despite being the IT department, we had no control over what the school district decided what the students were going to use. I mean, we had input, and we were trying to tell them, please do not get iPads. Please do not get MacBooks.
It's not worth it.
But our opinions, they decided to get iPads and MacBooks anyway. The best thing, like, so the IT department now, I mean, of course the IT department had more responsibilities than just fixing computers. Like, we had a network to maintain, we had, streaming, streaming the sports.
Yeah, that was what
you know-
that's what me and Eric did for our senior project. We did streaming for the school.
Yeah.
And then I want to point out, because then I did that later when I started working as an IT later, after I came back from Salt Lake City. I started working as an IT after I came back from Salt Lake City, and I started doing like the computer repairs and stuff, helping out with like issues with computers, smart boards, printers. But one of the big things was streaming the games. Well, when we got the new IT at the school, that was the only thing they wanted me to do. They didn't ask for any help with anything else. They took over all of the roles of the previous IT, which they gave Matt way too much stuff to do. Like, there was some things that
for a single person
that weren't even the job of the IT. Like, I remember one time I got passed down the task of transcribing across like stuff from it was I think it was from Khan Academy to Google Forms, like tests for a teacher. And it's like, this is not the fucking job of an IT. This is the job of the teacher to do. Do your fucking job and fucking transcribe your own goddamn fucking tests. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But then that teacher took over all of the jobs of the previous IT, but they didn't ask for like help for any of it except for doing the streaming. And the thing is that was the only thing they asked me for, and so they got overwhelmed by all of the stuff that they were having her do, and so I believe she quit later because they're just giving her way too much stuff to do.
Yeah.
And it's like
I remember
you gotta delegate your like what you like. I am part of like the staff. I can help you out if you need it. Don't try to go all like, not the right word because it's not the same situation, but I want to say it. Don't go all lone wolf thinking that you can do this all on your own. Like, I'm here to help you. Like, let me help you.
Yeah. I remember one day going in to work, and Matt was sitting at his computer, and he was managing attendance, like student attendance.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, it's like, what does this have to do with
IT work.
IT? Anyway, I mean, a lot of jobs are like that, where you're given stuff that isn't a part of your,
But
your
like a job that's as
description,
important that like there's so many other tasks that are much more like need to be done that you're giving them like additional tasks to like further the burden that he is having to like help out with. That's not cool.
if it's every single day, then there's a problem. Like, I understand if it's a one-time thing, but if it's every day, there's a problem. And but yeah, we were heavily against ordering iPads and MacBooks for the students. Like I said, one, because the school district couldn't afford it. And two, if there were any hardware issues, the IT department wouldn't be able to fix them. Now, if it was like a software issue, we could, reinstall the OS. We could reinstall, Mac OS, whatever. I can't remember what the names were for them. They were named after mountains. Like
Alpine. The fucking.
It was like
the Rocky Mountains.
Mac OS. Like they named them after cats at first, and then they started naming them after mountains.
I remember Snow Leopard was
Snow Leopard. Yeah, but if a student came to us with a hardware issue, we were like, okay, we'll send this off. You'll be without a device for at least 3 weeks. Because they're not made to be repaired.
Yeah. I just remembered about this weapon, so I'm grabbing it real quick. It is a broken hilt. It requires me to beat up fucking enemies with a broken hilt until it levels up. But I just wanted to show you because this thing is fucking sick. I believe it's one of the other good, like, really, really good weapons that are available in this game. I'm gonna actually warp out. I don't feel like going through the poison again.
Like I said, if there was a software issue, most of the time we would be able to fix that.
Yeah.
But mostly that involved just re-imaging the computer. Which is almost like the nuclear option.
Yeah, we're just gonna fucking nuke this shit.
But I will give them this. Software issues were rare. That's mostly because, students were not downloading programs and stuff. And we had an antivirus that I can't remember the name of. We had an antivirus for the MacBooks, which, yes, MacBooks can get viruses. And the antivirus was not only an antivirus, it was also kind of like a networking tool that, protected the network from attacks, which you would be surprised how much a school district's network would get attacked.
Probably pretty frequently.
Yeah, mostly by foreign entities, but it was them trying to steal data and probably for ransom, but yeah, we had an antivirus for every MacBook that not only served as an antivirus, but also, just making sure that there wasn't a hole in the network that,
so we're just open.
one student's MacBook wouldn't serve as a
entry point.
What's the word? Yeah, entry point, whatever, for an attack. I can't think of the right term for it, but yeah. So I mean, yeah, we could do software repairs. We had a network to maintain. We worked on printers, that kind of stuff. But when it came to like student devices, if they weren't using a Chromebook, we were like, sorry, you're going to be without a device, which of course the teachers didn't like. And we were
sorry to interrupt you, but I am the Senate.
Oh, snap. I think a really big issue with schools today, just from my experience, is that we're teaching students to become too over reliant on technology. Like, we have to
Show that there's like other options.
teachers need to be more comfortable with just giving students paper and pencil assignments. Not everything has to be on a computer. That was a big issue that we faced in the IT department, is that, you know, a student's device wouldn't be able to work, and the teachers would be like, well, they have to be able to type their assignments. And
Pen and paper.
we're like,
They can do on there.
their
hopefully.
paper and pencil exists, you know. Sure, it won't look as professional, but at least the student can get the work done. And I think, like I said, I think that's really a big issue with schools today, is that they're teaching students to be over-reliant on technology. I mean,
Like,
computers...
It's a useful skill to have, but just make sure that
Yeah.
they have the like skills to work
Well-
without the computers.
Yeah, and computers should only be an accessory. Like, they shouldn't be... They shouldn't be, you know,
Fuck.
you need it. You absolutely need it for everything. It should be a helpful tool, but nothing more than that. And if you're going to teach students how to use a computer, then why are you giving them MacBooks, which are the Fisher Price of computers? Like, if you're teaching students how to use computers, give them something, teach them how to be more of a power user. Give them Linux devices or Windows devices. That's just my opinion.
If you're wondering why I keep coming back here, I'm trying to get the fucking on the first run through, like the third fucking jailer dropped a candle that I want to use. And then I can't get the drop again. I don't know what the odds are, but it's apparently very low. So I can't get it. I'm sad.
Yeah, those are my thoughts on IT, working in the IT field for a while. And teachers, it's okay to give students paper and pencil assignments every once in a while. Not everything has to be on the computer.
The fucking animation of the sword extending is fucking awesome. I'll give it one.
I think...
Yeah.
Sorry, I just think that schools, ideally, if work requires a computer, that's when computers should be used. But when you can do that work without a computer, then don't use a computer.
I'm so slow. I'm giving it one more shot at trying to get the jailer candle. If I can't get it, we're just continuing without. Nope. And there's a couple over here. Trying to farm that drop real quick.
Looping. Is that how it's pronounced? Lupine
Lupine.
or lupine?
Yeah, lupine. Drop your shit, please. Ah.
How many navies do you got following you?
I think 2 right now. I just need 1 to drop. I'm not gonna get it, I don't think. This is sad. I should have saved. I didn't consider that I would die after I got it, because I was just doing so good. And then I can't remember what killed... Oh, that's right, I got in an elevator, and the elevator crushed me against the ceiling. That's how I lost the candle. I think my only 2 deaths so far have been me thinking that there was a secret off of a ledge, jumping off and dying, and, hello, that's Maledictus. That and, me getting crushed by a trap that insta-kills you.
You were just being so epic, and then in a moment you became not epic, and that's what killed you.
If only I was just continued being epic. Then we would still have the cool fire candle that shoots a spell that doesn't cost any mana. Like, that's so good. We might come back here, but probably not. We're going to the Forlorn Arena. And I'm going to use the fire sword, because I guess I can't use the candle. Sad. Alright, let's kill somebody. Can we say kill on YouTube?
It's treason, then. Yeah, we can use the word kill.
Let's kill somebody. It looks like a Star Wars alien race.
It's Glupshido.
Dude, it's Glupshido. You do a lot of damage, I'm scared. Ow, fuck!
Oh, ow. It's sticking out of you.
You guys do so much fucking damage, I'm scared. We're not finishing this game, I'm too weak. Or maybe this sword just sucks. Let's see what the damage on this is. That is kind of garbage. Yeah, it's just the sword. The sword's not the best. According to that.
Yeah.
That's sad. I wanted to use it.
The Wand of Power! Jesus Christ.
The only problem is this does a random damage type, so it could do a shit ton of damage, and then on the second hit, do no damage. Okay, there's no point in that. So if I remember correctly, there are 2 different sections. What is that? It's a health potion, I think. There are 2 different sections in this arena, and you have to complete both sides to finish and be able to go in further into the game. We're gonna start with this side. Hopefully we don't die. This is... I don't know if... Dude, Glupshido's back.
Oh yeah, that's melting them.
Well, that's just because it's one of the best fucking weapons in the game. Get back here. You can never trust plants in this game. Because they're enemies a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I missed that.
When
What is
you-
this? What is that? Fiddlehead.
It's sad when you can't just smell the roses,
No.
because those roses
Rose.
might bite your nose off.
True. Not the Tillandsia. It looks like, I have Cthulhu from Terraria. A little bit. That is a giant axe. Oh, hi.
Interesting. Oh, it's Pseudo Woodo.
Goodbye. I sought power, unlike any found above, and I think I've found a source, but this power will take my humanity, my function, and my sense of self. Is it worth losing rank and serving another if it means I'm closer to it? It's probably referring to the great beast that destroyed the planet. Reminder: this game is post-apocalyptic.
That tree just reminded me of Pseudo Woodo from Pokemon Gold, because Pokemon
alive.
Gold also it blocks your path,
Yeah.
and it's like the only chance you get in the entire game to catch one of them.
You are indeed correct. That if you knock it out, I believe you have to beat the game, and then you come back and it'll respawn. But only after you've beaten the game and like the credits have rolled.
Yeah.
So, a little insane.
I just remember playing Pokemon Gold a few times. I never finished it, but I remember playing it a few times and always getting anxious when I would reach Pseudo Woodo, because I was afraid I would always make it, like, defeat it instead of catching it.
If I
So,
recall
yeah.
correctly, you said that you could never beat a Pokemon game because you always tried to catch all of the Pokemon, and then in doing so you got bored.
Yep,
Gotcha.
that is precisely it.
If we play Pokemon Red and Blue, I know for sure we'll, like, that's one of the main goals is that I want to complete the Pokedex in that game if we play it. Not sure about Pokemon Gold. A lot of it would be transferring Pokemon from our previous Pokemon Blue up to our copy of Gold after we finish Blue and Red, go to Gold. Transfer some of the Pokemon up that can't be caught in Gen 2. I've met my end, it seems. At least, I found one of the great curses, the unkillable serpent, second only to the Seven of Swords, the Thief of Life. I had hoped to find that one as well, one who could steal their life back if dead, and turn killing into power, but alas.
It can't move, but it can turn.
They can't turn very fast. It's kind of a punching bag. Their health bar is insane. I don't know if you can hear my, I hope the mic's not picking up my clicking, because I am, for each of those swings, I am clicking. I hope that that's not getting picked up. If it is, that might have to be edited out. If possible.
Yeah, I'm not really an audio engineer, so I wouldn't even really know how to,
I hope you enjoy my
do that.
insane clicking, sounds as I'm fiercely hacking apart all of these enemies.
Yeah, like, I know almost nothing about audio engineering, and that's one issue I'm gonna have with my Halo mods, is I don't know how I'm gonna make the sound effects and I mean, I might just have to pull them from other Halo games. Like, right now, I was making the Hydra.
The Hydra?
From Halo Infinite.
Gotcha.
I've run into some issues with that, So I focused my attention on working on a DMR for Halo 3. And I'm like, maybe I'll just lift the animations from Halo Reach. Because I don't know how to make sound effects at all. I know how to make 3D models, I know how to texture them, I know how to animate them. I don't know how to make sound come out of them and sound good.
Oh, you got high enough. I don't even know what causes it, but if you get like high enough, I want to say probably your spellcasting stat, it allows you to cast some spells without without the charge up. Flame Spear used to be a charge up, but now it looks like it's just a tap. Our Wind Dash is still a hold, but which sucks, but we can now cast Flame Spear freely. You can move your body freely.
Can move your body freely.
That was that, who said that?
That was, I think that was one of the developers for Dance Dance Revolution. Talking at like some conference like E3 or something. I don't think it was E3, but it was I think it was a Konami panel. It might not have even been Dance Dance Revolution. It might have been some other like game like Dance Dance Revolution, but yeah. With Dance Dance Revolution, you don't really move your Bobby Fui. It's I mean, it's okay. It's just that you have essentially 4 buttons that you hit with your feet, and sometimes 8 because they have the 4 cardinal directions, but then also they have Dance Dance Revolution that has the diagonal buttons as well. Speaking of Dance Dance Revolution, when Dance Dance Revolution was like really popular back when I was in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in like 4th or 5th grade. I can't remember. Our PE had a PlayStation 2, and they had Dance Dance Revolution, and they had these special like aluminum pads that you would stand on and play with, instead of like the typical, buttons. Pads that were made out of plastic or canvas or whatever. They had like these special aluminum, I think it was aluminum, it was some sort of metal, and I'm like, man, I wonder how much those go for now.
Probably a fortune.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder if that elementary school I went to still has them.
Like, can I have those?
Can I buy them from you? Or have them? 'Cause that'd be cool. It was specifically PlayStation 2. I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. Yeah, it isn't a death.
Okay. So they don't look how I remember them looking, but I found some on eBay. DDR Tournament Metal Dance Pad, PlayStation 2 15-pin Dance Dance Revolution, pre-owned, going for $900.
900?
Yeah.
God damn.
2022 pad buying guide, r/Dance Dance Revolution. Arcade pads. I guess they're called arcade pads, I don't know. Oh, maybe this was the one I remember. I don't know, this one looks very familiar to me.
So anyway, from the previous temple, we got a Earth Talisman. I'm assuming this is the Water Talisman based on all the water. And, then you need both of them, and it allows you to progress. I do believe you just need the two. I hope I'm not misremembering and there's a third one, but I'm pretty sure it's just the two. And then we're out of this section. Ooh. It's over here.
Yeah, you know, I guess it was a tournament dance pad that we had at our school. We had 2 of them. The school had 2 of them.
Gotcha. They had
We would
2? That are now
would
not
play-
like $900, you said?
Yeah, $900 each.
That's a lot of dollars.
We had 2 of them, so 2 people could
Compete.
play at the same time. They could dance their revolution at the same time.
Alright, we got the Ocean Talisman. Let's bring the talismans to order. See what we can do with these. Do I bring them here? Or do I bring them over here?
The only song I remember them ever allowing us to play on Dance Dance Revolution was that one's Move Your Feet by Junior Senior, or Senior Junior, or whatever it was.
Body. Is that one? Different one?
Goes, everybody, move your feet and feel united. That one. I'm not really good at singing, but that's how it went. That was the only song they ever allowed us to play, and I'm sure by the end of each day, the PE teacher was, like, so exhausted of hearing that song.
I'm gonna go save, because this might be a boss fight.
Yeah, should we save it for the next episode?
Actually, yeah, this is perfect timing. I'm gonna go save, and then we'll call the episode. Because, I checked my health potions, I only had 1, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That sounds like I need health potions to prepare for this. So we'll do that in the next episode. I believe we're getting very, very close to finishing.
Yep.
Alright. So, I'll level first and then we'll call it.
But, yeah, while he's leveling, I'll say, if you're still watching, thanks for watching. Hope this was interesting and enjoyable to watch. And, yeah, I guess we'll see you in the next video, the next episode of Lunacid, and we're gonna fight that boss. See you, everybody.